95% of our lives are run and created by our subconscious mind programming. Imagine if your subconscious mind is running many negative, disempowering, and self-sabotaging programs. How will that 95% of your life turn out to be? Would you like help to change your subconscious programming into something that works for you and set it to attract and create everything you desire? Join Tamra Oviatt in her show Metaprogramming and the Human Biocomputer here on OMTimes, where she will connect to the source energy and change your subconscious programming by deleting your negative belief systems. Tamra is the founder of Sacred Activations, a subconscious metaprogramming modality that rewires your brain and shifts hundreds of your belief systems so you can break away from lack, pain, and suffering and take control of what you want to create in your life. Tamra has helped hundreds of thousands of people worldwide, and she is here to help you too. It's not about fighting what you don't want. It's about creating what you do want. And the only way to do that is to change and upgrade your subconscious programming. Let Tamra help you create magic in your world. Tune in every week at Metaprogramming and the Human Biocomputer.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is my first show on OM. I have been doing webinars and interviews for years now, and I'm so excited to bring this to you. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I'm so excited you decided to join me because you being here is going to change your life. And it's not going to just change your life. It's going to change people all around you. Everyone around you will start to change as you change. And it's magical, it's easy, and it's simple. All you have to do is listen. I got this amazing gift in 2012. I was told by God, Source Energy, to go to England, and I did. And when I was there, I went for a walk one morning. God, why am I here? I mean, I was broke. I was just in a disaster in my life, and I just didn't know what to do. I had a healing practice. I was struggling. I wasn't making money, and I didn't know what to do or why I was there or why God told me to go. And on that walk that morning, when I was really screaming at God, I truly was, what the hell am I doing here? And I got this clear answer that I was to go to the Rosslyn Chapel. So I went back to my friend's house the same day. And the next morning I had been booked on a train to Scotland to go to the Rosslyn Chapel. And then I heard to contact a client of mine that I'd worked with before in Scotland and have her meet me there. So I invited her to meet me in the Rosslyn Chapel in 2 days, and she agreed. And we met there, and I sat in the pews and I connected to God. And I said, okay, God, I'm here. What do you want from me? What do you want me to do? And I heard, I want you to go into the Akashic Records. And I said, okay. So I did. And when I went into the Akashic Records, I saw a being standing there. Now, at that point, I never saw anybody standing in the Akashic Records. I would just get information. And this being was standing there. And I went, who are you and what do you want? And he introduced himself to me as Lord Metatron. And he said he was there to assist me. And I said, okay. And so all of a sudden, this energy started shrilling into the top of my head, in my client's head. She was sitting next to me. And I saw us both receiving this energy. And it just kept coming and coming and coming. And it was crazy. And thank God she was there with me because I thought I lost it. And then it was then these golden seals started coming in to my energy field along with it. And when it was done, Lord Metatron came to me and kissed me on the forehead and said, you're now crystalline, give these to others. And we were really dizzy. I heard ground, make sure you ground into Mother Earth. And I didn't understand it. But as a steward, I know I work for God. I know I work for Source Energy. As soon as I got back to my B&B, I got on the phone with my friends and I said, guess what happened? You want it? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I'm still in England and I knew it wasn't time to go home. And my plane to leave was in 2 days. And I just had this feeling I was supposed to be there and I was supposed to stay and write my book. And and I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't stay where I was, and I needed to move on. So I contacted this gentleman, Vincent. He had interviewed me before, and I knew he lived in London. I said, I need a place to stay. Do you know any place? And he said, funny thing is, we just moved into this large flat and we have an extra room. Come stay with us. So I said, fantastic. So my friend that I was staying with got me to London, and I checked in with that friend, Vincent, and I stayed there with him. And I started receiving all of this information and all of these downloads. And then I was told to go to Stonehenge. So I took a tour bus to Stonehenge, and I walked around and I sat on a bench. I was freezing cold. I'm from California, and England temperatures, oh my God, it's cold. So I'm sitting on a bench, and Lord Metatron came to me and gave me another activation. And again, my head was spinning. I didn't know what to do. It was crazy energy. I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. And at one point in my head inside, I'm screaming, stop, stop, what are you doing? And he came to me again and he said, relax, you're okay, and let it continue. So I did. And then from England, I sent out an email to my friends, guess what I'm doing? And I had a client of mine that I'd met in California. He told me he was in England and he wanted a session. So I called him and I talked to him and I gave him a session. And he told me he was headed to Spain. And I heard God say, ask him if he can go. So I said, I want to go. And so he called his wife and checked. Yes, it's okay. So the next thing I know, I'm meeting them at the airport and flying off to Spain. And then from Spain, I spent a month on a mountaintop learning what I'm learning. And all these different teachers and masters are coming to me and teaching me. And from Spain, I went back to England and spent 2 months in Glastonbury, England. Oh my God, heart chakra of the world, absolutely amazing. Then from there off to Italy, spent 3 months alone in Italy, was blown away by all the different masters coming in and teaching me. And for 8 years, I traveled a lot in between Mexico and in between Europe, back and forth, learning, growing, expanding, receiving this information on these sacred activations. And what I received just blew me away. What happened with my clients was blowing me away. The changes that were happening in their lives so fast and instantly almost. And some of them over time, where they would just keep shifting and shifting and shifting. Totally amazed. I started doing practitioner training, my first 26 activations. I kept receiving them. I had a lot of pain and healing I had to do myself. And of course, I'm still on that path and changing, just like all of us are. And these activations, what they do, what I do, what I'm able to bring forward to you, and what this is all about, is helping you shift your life into love, into peace, into joy, into happiness. Because that's how we get world peace, is through ourselves, because we are the creators of our own lives, and we're the creators of the whole world and what's going on in the world. So I'm here to help you on a weekly basis. I will also be bringing on some friends or some people I find totally amazing that have helped me on my journey, or I've had connection with them, or I just see them and I think they're really amazing and they're doing great work. Because this is to help you shift your life. And every week I will be ending the call with 3 activations so that you can come back and listen to over and over and over again. Share them with your friends. They will help your intuition. They will help your finances. They will help your relationships. They will help your health. They will help all aspects of your life. And what they do, it's sacred activations is metaprogramming the human biocomputer. This energy is intelligent. It keeps shifting your subconscious belief systems and rewriting your software. Because see, when we come on to this planet, we come on with our hardwire, right? But we also have to come on with our software. We have to have past life memories. We have to have, our belief systems, our genetic belief systems connecting in to our different families, environments where we grow up, where we were born. And there's all these belief systems that are on our hard drive, that are software that are running our lives. Did you know that 95% of your life is ran by your programming, and only 5% of your life are you consciously creating? So, we're, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. And we go out and we plan all this stuff, right? With our subconsciousness. I mean, with our consciousness, our 5%. Yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Fantastic. Or have you spent weekends at those events where you come home and you're pumped up, you're ready to go? And then before you know it, it just all falls away and you go back to the way you were. You know why? Because that's your subconscious programming. Your subconscious programming is programmed with, I can't make it. I'm going to fail. People are going to make fun of me. Nobody's going to love me if I stand out and I'm different. How can I be powerful? How can I help people heal? I mean, how can I have money? I grew up in this family, or I grew up in this town, or family or money corrupts. I mean, there's so many belief systems that we have that are on our drive, that are in our subconsciousness. And then those programs we have from past lives, right? And I say programs from past lives because did you really live that past life? Or is that just a program you're running? Did you know that, thousands of people could have programs of the same past life? And if you look at it, time doesn't really exist. We're doing everything now, right? So you're running these programs from past lives that aren't serving you, or are they serving you? But did you know that we can also go in and shift those out and change those complete programs? The complete program, the complete lifetime, that complete program can be updated to empower you to create right here and right now. Because there's no future we should be living in, and there's no past we should be living in. You like the way I did that opposite? That's pretty good, isn't it? Because it's all happening in the now. We're creating in the now. And I want to help you live you in the now. So that's what I'm all about. I didn't believe in anything I was doing. And in the 90s, the late 90s, I kept hearing, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be a healer. Over and over and over and over again. And I finally said, okay, God, don't kill me or my children, and I'll do what you want me to do. Well, I didn't have good belief systems of being a healer. I didn't. I fell on my butt. I got on food stamps. I was a disaster. And then I fell into the dark night of the soul. Does anybody know what that is? Where you just crash and you can barely do anything and you're so depressed and you're not empowered. I went through that. And it was really hard. And then I started crawling out. And then I heard, for my first training to do was this hypnosis training. And in this hypnosis training I did this with this master that studied in India for 20 years. He did Vedic astrology and hypnosis. And I learned hypnosis from him. And he took me into a hypnotic state. And in that hypnotic state, the first time I met this bird, Charlie. He said it was named Charlie, but he wasn't a bird at all, but he was a bird. And he was really cool. He had these dark sunglasses on, and he was psychedelic kind of color, And so he took me around flying, and it was like, wow, it was so amazing. It was so magical in the session. And then like 4 years later, I was told to go see this teacher and do a hypnosis session, and I did. And as soon as I went into hypnosis, I went down. This bird Charlie shows up, and I'm all, Charlie, and he's all, come with me, and he grabbed my arm and flew me up over the planet, and we're way, way up on the planet where Earth looked like it was this big, and he had me sitting on like a cloud, right? And so we're sitting there and we're looking at Earth. He goes, do you see that? And I said, yeah. He goes, no, do you see that? And I went, yeah. He goes, it's just a game, Tamra. That's all it is. It's just a game. Now I ask you, are you a winner or are you a loser? So I ask you, It's a game. Are you a winner or are you a loser? And what do I mean by that? This is what I mean by this. And this is an example of my life. I'm dyslexic. I grew up not being able to spell or read. I was horrific. I could write something out and I had no idea what I wrote down. And I thought about it and I went, well, you know what? I can win at Scrabble and I can't spell. So I like to win. And he's like, exactly. Go win. So that's what I'm inviting you today is we are playing a game. We are in a simulation. And this game is incredible, amazing game. And it's here for us to learn. It's here for us to grow. And it's here for us to practice our power of creation, what we can create as individuals, as oneness, as a whole. And so I want to help you play this game. And how I can help you play this game is help you rewrite those subconscious programs that are running your game. So then when we switch those off and close the door on fear, lack, limitations, disease, you become empowered and healthy. Money starts flowing in. You start connecting to the right people to support you on your growth and where you desire to go. That's what this is all about. And that's what I'm here to do. My whole life has been about world peace. I'm going to show you, and we'll get a picture from my sister, and I'm going to show this to you guys. When you look at me as a child, the sadness in my eyes, I was so sad. And I never understood the world on how people could hurt each other. I never got it. And I remember not wanting to bring children into this world because the world was a horrible place and blah, 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 all these thoughts. My kids are adopted, by the way, because again, as an adult, I didn't want to bring children in the world. I wanted to help children that are already here that needed a family. So I adopted, and it was created out of my sadness. It was created out of the pain I felt for the world. And my heart chakra, my back was constantly hurting. I mean, I wouldn't even let a massage therapist give me a massage in that area. I'd get a massage, but they had to skip my heart chakra in the back because that's where I held all the pain for the world. And when I was in Italy, I went to dinner. I'm sitting by myself. I'm over the sea cliffs. It was absolutely beautiful. And I'm drinking a glass of wine. And I said, okay, God, what's the 11th activation? And I heard, you're living in hell. I said, well, that's no activation I want. And when I went back to my apartment, I was sitting there and Lord Metatron came to me. He says, are you ready to let that go? And I said, yes. And when I did, I saw my body come up and all these chains and these cords were just falling off of me. And it was like, wow. And I was like in the grid system, right? Above the earth. And all this stuff was just being released off of my body. See, I had been holding the pain for the world in me, the suffering in me. It's not our jobs. It's not our jobs to do that. And it all released. And a couple days later, I noticed the pain was gone. It was completely vanished. I used to have pain in my shoulder also, and that also disappeared by clearing this energy. And then I was told the activation is heaven on earth. And that releases you from all the pain and suffering of the planet. That's not our job to plug into that. It's not how we help anything. And it's not our job to go out and protest, to go out and fight, to go be angry, to repost negative energies. Because you know what happens with that? Because trust me, I was doing that. But guess what happens when we're doing that is we're feeding that energy. We're feeding the negativity. We're feeding the fear. We're feeding the anger. So how do you get out of doing all that? Just let it go. It's not your circus. It's not your game. Go back into peace. Go back into love. Go back into creating the life you desire. And anytime you find yourself distracted on social media, on TV, on whatever it is, you're totally distracted. I get we need that. I get we need that break. But it could really suck you in and keep you locked into that It's important to have time alone, to have private time, to give yourself time for love, for joy, and for happiness in creating. And every day, make sure you give yourself time to create the life you desire, the world you desire to see. Focus on the creation. Let go of the opposite. Do you understand? It's good, right? And it's hard. It's very hard because see that 95% of your subconsciousness keeps dragging you back into that. And then you go, wait a minute, wait. Let's get conscious again. Let's focus on this. And then it's a process. But with doing these subconscious metaprogramming, sacred activations that I offer you will continue to rewrite your software. It continues working with you for days, weeks, even months after I've done this process. And it continues to elevate you. You know, it's funny. I had a team meeting this morning. I have a new employee, but my other 4 employees that have been with me for a while, they're constantly telling me how much their life has changed and how much more they're enjoying life. And it just, you know, none of these people came in to this job to change their lives except to earn money. And by working with me and listening to what I offer and to help people with, their lives are changing. Not even trying to, they're just changing and they're so happy. So I told this new employee, I said, look, get ready for your life to start shifting and get better. I hope you are enjoying your job and that you stick around and enjoy it. So I'm really excited about that. I get testimonials every day from people, how their lives are shifting and how their lives are better. As a matter of fact, I was talking to one of my girlfriends. She messaged me. She's trying to get her renewed passport from England, and she one problem after another. I mean, she's been trying to do this since February, and then they sent her this thing, you got to start over. Then she's having a problem with her inheritance from her mom, and she's having a problem with her boyfriend. I mean, her relationships were going crazy. So I sent her the relationship course. I said, listen to this a couple times. And then I hear Jim and I have made up. We're doing really, really good. And then I heard, oh, my mom, I get 50% of the estate. And then I hear, oh, I heard from passport control. Everything's fine. I've just got to send this in and we're good to go. That was within 3 days of listening to this. All of these circumstances that she had been creating were all discreated. Do you understand? I mean, it's truly amazing how this works and how I can help you shift your life. And that's truly what this is about, is to help you create your heaven on earth. It's about you creating your heaven on earth. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm service. That's why I get up every morning with total, complete excitement, is to be here and to help you. That's why I'm here on the planet, is to do this. And it's taken me a while to get there, to work on myself, to be able to show up this way. I've been doing sacred activations now for 10 years or 11 years now. And wow, has my life changed completely. I live in Yucatan, Mexico, on the beach with a swimming pool in my front yard with the love of my life. I met him 27 years ago, and it just wasn't time. I was totally in love with him. I didn't know how to handle it. I blew it. I had a second chance with him and I blew it again. And then in 2019, I wrote a list. I said, okay, God, I'm ready for my man and I want him now. And I wrote down everything I wanted in a man. And then I heard his name and I laughed. And then I heard his name again. When I said again, I want my soulmate, I heard his name again and I laughed again. And then I heard, go onto your LinkedIn account. And I did. I hadn't been on there in over a month. My assistant takes care of that. And there he was. And showed a picture of him, said he looked at you. I sent him a message. He was available. We were both in the same state. So if any of this inspired you on my journey and what I've been through, I want to help you with your journey to get to this level where you're creating your heaven on earth. Your heaven on earth doesn't have to be the same as my heaven on earth, but that's mine. Mine is living where I'm living and living with this amazing man right here, right now. What is your heaven on earth? What is it you desire to change? Let me help you do that. So I want you just to think about that for a minute. What is that for you? How do you want to create your heaven on earth? What is heaven on earth for you? What is that? Think about it. You got it? Write it down. Take time every day to expand on it. And it's okay. You can change your mind anytime. But if you're just sitting there being frustrated, not knowing what to do, you've got to take action. And taking action's hard when you have a lot of belief systems that do not serve you. So in a few minutes, I'm going to be running the first 3 activations that I've ever received. And these activations are actually sacred geometry activations. I didn't know what sacred geometry was. I just saw the patterns in people's energy field when I was running this energy. So I'm going to be running these for you, and I'm going to be talking to you lots more. So right after this commercial break, we'll come back and we'll continue. Thank you.
OMTimes TV. Do you want to go deeper into sacred activations, which is a subconscious metaprogramming process? Tamra Oviatt is inviting you to visit her website at tamraoviatt.com to sign up and get lifetime access to 3 free activations that you can listen to anytime you want or as often as you need. If you like what Tamra does and like to incorporate sacred activations into your life, she also offers live webinars, masterclasses, and practitioners training to further support your healing, manifestations, and expansion. There are hundreds of activations on her website that address different aspects of your life: money, health, relationships, intuitive abilities, and more. Head over to her website at tamraoviatt.com and experience the magic of sacred activations. Thank you for listening. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OMTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OMTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OMTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OMTimes TV and broadcasting it across the extensive OMTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OMTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Hi, welcome back. I'm so excited you're here, and I'm so excited to share some more with you. I think I pretty much covered everything what this show is about and what I'm about and where I came from and why I'm here. My journey's been a little crazy, a little wild, and sometimes a little scary. And I wouldn't trade it for anything at all, because I have learned so much to be able to support you in your growth and in your expansion. And I get so excited when I hear how much you've changed, how much your life is better. how things are going for you and how you're creating. That gets me up every day. That gets me so excited. And to watch people around me shift, it's just so I guess I want to start with some sacred activations. And I know this is a little early and we have more time, but I'm going to start running some sacred activations and then we'll go from there. So, like I was telling you earlier, I received my first activation from Lord Metatron in the Roslyn Chapel. And that activation I called the Lord Metatron, and then discovered that it activates your DNA. It activates more strands in your DNA. And when I first saw it, it swirls. You know how your DNA swirls, and then there's like these golden light bulbs that went in to the ladder, and just absolutely amazing. And it activates anywhere from 4, 5 to 18, depending on where you are. It's not going to take you to 4 or 5 strands of DNA where you think you're awake and then put you expanded into 18 strands of DNA, because you can't physically or mentally handle that. It's going to help you, and it's going to continue working with you. It'll take at least 3 weeks for this activation that I'm going to do for you to integrate, and it'll keep working with you. And what happens, and I asked God that, I said, why can't we just do this? Why not? And this is the image I got, and this is the message I received. Tamra, can you imagine riding through the mountains on a horse? Planes don't exist, nothing. And then you're pulled off your horse and you're put in a spaceship to fly the spaceship. What would happen to your brain? What would happen to your mind? Could you handle that? No, you couldn't handle that. So it's the same thing with the 18 strands of DNA activation. You can't go from 4 or 5 strands activated where you're thinking you're awake, and then you go to 18 and you're just like, holy cow. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. So this will continue working with you. It'll continue expanding you over the next few days, the next few weeks, even the next few months. You'll continue to shift. And then the next activation I'm going to do is the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life was brought to me by Moses, and I also call it the Moses Codes. I remember I was kind of used to seeing Lord Metatron, right, when I'd go into the Akashic Records. And then there was this other being there. And I said, well, who are you? And he says, I'm Moses. I said, Moses who? Who? Moses from the Bible is going to talk to me? Are you crazy? I thought I was nuts. And he says, I have an activation for you. And then I received this activation, which I call the Moses Codes, but in sacred geometry, it is the Tree of Life. And so I received this activation, and then I started seeing the Tree of Life in people's energy field, and I would see breaks in their energy field where there were breaks, and I didn't understand that, but I would see it all being healed and then the energy totally flowing. And again, I didn't know I was doing sacred geometry, energetic activations, didn't know what sacred geometry was. And my friend Vincent in London gave me this book on the tree of, what was it, the flower of life, Melchizedek. So I opened it up and I saw the Tree of Life and I went, oh my God, I'm doing that. That's what I do. And so that's when I saw I was doing sacred geometry. I didn't know what I was doing. I just was receiving these gifts and helping people and getting amazing results, testimonials from people. And it was just blowing me away. And then the next one we're going to do, what are we doing? Oh, Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness. Remember I told you I went to Spain and I was on this mountaintop? And Christ consciousness is also the flower of life in sacred geometry. And I received this activation, and Christ actually came to me and he had his hand on my heart when I was standing there. And afterwards, I love myself more. At the time I was wearing one-piece bathing suits, hiding my body, not feeling good about myself. I'm now I'm now 60. I wear a bikini. And after that, I started wearing a bikini because from Spain, I went, back to England, and then I went over to Italy, and I was living on the sea, a short walk. And I started wearing a two-piece bathing suit and being able to tell myself I was beautiful. That blew me away because I was so self-conscious before that. And now in my 60s, I remember meeting up with my now fiance, and I said, I still wear a bikini, and he laughs, but he tells me I look great. And I never would have done that before. I would have been in shorts and a t-shirt at this time of my life because I was in such self-judgment. Can't say I'm perfect with my self-judgment, but I'm so much better than I used to be. So this is the flower of life. And the flower of life, or the Christ consciousness, I could see that fifth dimensional grid system of light and sacred geometry around your body. This is also around the planet, and this also helps you plug into that unconditional love for the planet. And these are really, really powerful. I'm so excited to share these with you. When I was over in England, I can't believe the changes I got with just these first 3 activations. I had people that were going into surgery for cancer. They go in to do the cancer surgery and they can't find it. I had a friend of mine who had a stroke the year before. She was on a walker. She couldn't use her left arm. It had been a year. I'd tried everything I possibly could because I had done a lot of healing modalities by this time. So I was doing everything in my toolbox to help her, and nothing worked. So I said, okay, well, let's try these, And so I did these 3 activations with her. And the next day she says, I have all these past life memories coming up. So I went in and I shifted the past life memories. And the following day, she woke up 95% better, off the walker, could use her left arm, could brush her hair again. And she had a little bit of a limp left. And then later on came back and did some more activations, and the limp went away. You can't even tell she had ever had a stroke. So blew me away. My driver now had face paralysis. I did a session with him, and his face paralysis is gone. He's still got a little bit of an issue in his mouth, but the eye, everything is working again. And that was, like a week after I worked on him. And it's just amazing. And this one guy, I ran the first 3 activations on him. He was a friend of mine. I talked to him on Skype all the time. And I gave him the first 3 activations, and I didn't warn him. So I'm going to warn you. Things are going to change. You're going to get sensitive while you're going through this. It's a lot easier than it was, 11 years ago, because the denseness of the energy of the planet has shifted. But still, you might be going through some emotional stuff. And I heard in my head to warn him, and I did not do it because I did not trust myself. I trust myself much more now. So I'm warning you, be kind, be loving. And so after the 3 activations, he took the ones you're going to receive now. He took his computer. He took all of his artwork, because he was an artist and a writer, took all of his writing and put it in his front yard. And this is in England, and started a bonfire and burned it all up. And then he broke up with his girlfriend of 9 years. And I went, holy cow, what did I do to this poor man? I felt responsible. And then I used to talk to him on the computer, so I couldn't talk to him. So then it was about 30 days later, I was able to talk to him. And he told me that his life had completely shifted. His writing, his art had never been better. He was living in a Buddhist colony, and he was so happy. And I was like, wow, I was so relieved because I felt responsible for him, which is silly, but I did. So I'm sharing these stories with you so that you can get excited about what's going to change for you. Write it down, because we forget so fast. Write it down. Write down where you are now. Give yourself a 1 to a 5, and then check back in a couple weeks. And you're going to go, wow, I'm so different. I'm so excited. So let me start the first one with you, which is my first ever sacred activation. And that is called Lord Metatron. You ready? So while you do this, you can't do it wrong. Just close your eyes and just go inside. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do with any of these activations that I'm going to be sharing with you over the weeks. Just relax and close your eyes. You might feel your head spinning, you might not. It's okay. You might feel a little pressure on top of your head. I can't hurt you. This all comes from source energy, from God energy. And again, this will keep expanding within you over the next few days, next few weeks. Just keep relaxing. Okay, we're going to move into the tree of life, the Moses codes. You might still be feeling the first activation. That's okay. And again, you might not be feeling anything, and that's okay too. You don't have to feel it for it to be working with you. Taking a nice big deep breath. You can keep your eyes closed if that works better for you. Good. We're now going to add in and continue the other two, where we're adding in the flower of life, the Christ consciousness. Just breathe, taking a nice big deep breath. Feel that calmness coming over your body. Breathing in and out. Feeling calm and relaxed. I know I feel so much calmer now. A little nervous doing my first show on OM. Doing it this way, not because I'm used to seeing an audience and being able to see everybody's shiny faces and to just be like talking to myself. This has been a little weird for me, but I'm so excited I did it. This has always been a dream of mine, is to help millions and millions and millions of people all over the world creating their heaven on earth. That's what I'm all about. That's what we're here for, is to create our heaven on earth right here and right now. Within ourselves. That's all we got to do. So bringing this energy in, imagine connecting into Mother Earth. You might feel a little tired after this. You might feel a little dizzy. If you feel dizzy, go put your feet in the sand or the soil or water. Go hug a tree. Go connect inside. In a couple days, like 3 days usually, you might feel really emotional. And if you do, just understand it's your belief systems shifting. Because that's what it does. It shifts those subconscious belief systems out so that you have room on your hard drive to create what it is you truly desire. That is what this is all about. And I so look forward to connecting with you again and sharing more activations with you and sharing amazing people and their stories and their processes to help you shift your life. Because there's so many amazing healers out there. And people of inspiration to help you become a better you. I guarantee you that if you come and listen to this as often as possible, your life will continue to get better and better and better, and very, very quickly. And everybody around you will become kinder to you. They'll start saying hello to you. How are you? Nice to meet you. Just wait. It's so exciting to have people want to help you, to be of assistance, to smile at you when you're going down the road. It started out a little, and now I understand it's because the love I have in my heart for people shines out, and they see that, so they're attracted to it. And then just being around them, it changes them too. So you are a beacon of light. You are absolutely amazing, incredible, beautiful being. You are important. There's nobody on this planet that's more important than you. Did you know that? Do you know how important you are? How amazing you are? Think about that. Give yourself a hug because you are incredible. You are amazing. And yes, you make a difference in people's lives just by being you. Doesn't matter if you do dishes for life, for work, for money, or you're a trash man, or you're a president or CEO of a company. Nobody's below you or above you. We are all the same. We just have different roles to play. And no matter what role you're playing, you are so, so, so important just by doing your job the best way you know how, by being of service, by being of assistance, by packing a good bag of groceries. Do you know what I mean? It's that easy, you guys. You don't have to go out and do something out there in the public. You can do it all right here. Just spend your time in love and peace and joy and happiness and excitement. Make sure you dance around every day, even if it's in your chair, if you can't get up and walk. Just dance. Get excited. Be happy. The song we're going to have at the end of this is really important. Sunny Street. It's about walking on the sunny side of the street, about being at peace, about creating the life you desire. This is what this is all about. This is why I am here, to help you create the life you desire. So I want to thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And I look forward to it getting a lot better and me having some guests instead of me just talking to myself on camera.